Hello, this is Eddie Lloyd for Win. I've got a new video for you today where I look at how best to find out if a particular tipster is going to work for you with your bank size and the cost of the service, etc. So I built this calculator which I'll make available at the bottom of this video for you to download. Basically, the boxes you need to fill in I've coloured in yellow. The ones that aren't in yellow, well, basically they're there to calculate certain information, which I'll go through now. So if we go over to the Win platform, we've got a handy new tool on the site which can basically enable us to see the entire proofing history of a service. So if we click on View All Proofing, and we scroll down and select the current month, up here we can go all time. I'll presume that everyone uses best odds guaranteed. This is important. We need to select flat stakes. So once we've selected that, we then got our overall information. So we need to, I'll put the name of the service here just so we know what we're tracking. So the points profit made, you can see, is 46.44. Now the strike rate, which we enter here, this is important. We can't put 30 in there because the calculation here with the logarithm that I've used, which I'll explain again in a minute, won't understand anything that isn't below 1, if that makes sense. So basically all we need to do is 100, this figure here divided by 100. So if that was 22%, then the figure we'd put in here would be 0.22. So it's pretty straightforward. So in this case, we've got a 30% strike rate for forecast profits. So we put that in here. Now, this is probably the only tedious part of the whole process. We need to find out how many bets whatever the services you're looking at has had since they began proofing. So we can see here that this service basically gives out one selection a day. It's kind of like a nap. And it started on the 2nd of February 2015. Now, I've already calculated this. It's basically 86 bets. Now, what you could do is look at the average amount of bets sent out every day and then just sort of multiply that by however many days there was since the start of the service. So that's our figure there, 86. Now what happens is I've done this calculation whereby using the amount of bets and the strike rate, we're able to determine what the expected losing streak will be. So you can see here, we just tend to round this up, that's 13 losing streaks, so 13 losers all in a row basically. So what I tend to do with all my systems and services that I follow is multiply that by 3 to give us a bank that keeps us safe. So here we can put in the size of our bank. We could put £100 in, for example, and you can see these figures change. We could put £500 in. This then gives us our required stake. So with this service, based upon the information we've put into these cells, I would stake £13, to be honest, £13.50 or 13 quid or 14 quid. As long as you're around this mark, your bank is safe. Then the cost of the service, which I put here, so if we scroll down you can see that it's £47 for 56 days and then £47 for every 28 days. So far the service would have cost you £112.80. You can see then that this is our profit after the cost of the service based on these stakes and the profit we've made. So personally, excuse me, personally I always start with £1,000 betting bank for any system or service that I use. You can see there I'd be staking £27, and this would have provided me, after the cost of the service, with basically I've just slightly double the money, which I'd be very happy with over a 3-month period. So you can see, for example, if you were to have a £50 bank, then by the time you've paid for the service, you're going to be 50 quid down. So you know that you're going to need a bigger bank. A £100 bank gives you a very small £11 profit. Obviously, over 3 months, that's a bit naff. So the idea is you can go through. So if we can go to any service here. Let's look at betting development, which is a free service. Let's have a look. So if we go to the last month, we can click on all time. We'll assume it's bog, and we'll go to flat stakes. Now then, this is a 1-a-day service. You can see they just, on average send out 1 horse a day. We've got 365 because it's more than a year old, and then we go March, April, May. That's 3 months. Well, we'll assume it's about let's say 500 selections in total, and the strike rate is 29.53. So again, if we divide that by 100, we get 0.2953. So we put that in there, and we can change this to betting development. And the points profit made is 78.3. 78.3. So we can see here that our expected losses would be up to 18 bets in a row. So the bank required would be 53 units. Now the cost of the service is actually free, so we can put 0 in there. Now let's say we started with £1,000. We would have, in a year and 3 months, made nearly 1,500 quid profit. So, you can see by going through each services, working out how many bets they've had, and the information available to us on the site, you can kind of determine how much money you would have made had you followed that service. I would advise looking at services that have got at least 3 months proofing under the belt, and they look like they're consistent. And then you've got a good chance of moving forward and making a profit. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section below, and I will get back to you ASAP. This is Eddie Lloyd for Win.